The explosive nature of crude oil from North Dakota's Bakken oil fields is well known now. It's what led to the incineration of Lac Mégantic, Quebec, and there have been other fiery derailments since. Well, now there's evidence U.S. federal investigators knew about the risk long ago. They discovered tankers carrying Bakken oil were being overloaded and mislabeled as far back as 2011. But as Mike Armstrong reports, the pressure to keep oil moving meant nothing was done.
Some of the problems raised in the Lac Mégantic disaster were shocking, but apparently not to everyone. Some of the same issues were already raised a year earlier in this document from the U.S. Federal Railroad Administration. Obtained by NBC News under the Freedom of Information Act, it is an inspection report into hazardous materials handling and shipping in the growing Bakken region. One of the issues it flags is how companies were misclassifying crude oil. The classification is based on the flash point of a flammable liquid. At what temperature will it ignite? Now, the team's report found that new companies were setting up in the region and shipping local crude at the lowest risk category. It's called Packaging Group 3. Older companies were shipping as Packaging Group 2 or even the highest risk category, Packaging Group 1. Now, misclassification was one of the first problems raised by the Transportation Safety Board in its investigation in Lac Mégantic. Tests on the oil recovered from 9 intact tankers found it was more flammable and should have been classified in Category 2. There have been questions over whether the companies involved may face charges over the misclassification. Well, one thing is clear with the new document uncovered today, the misclassification had been going on for a while. The report also flags other problems, including overfilling of rail cars. It says overloads are still a major problem and most are not caught. Overloading makes tanks more likely to rupture in a derailment. The team also found oil was sometimes shipped in tank cars that don't meet safety standards. Companies did it anyway because, quote, the pressure to ship those cars was more than the risk of failure in transportation or discovery by the Federal Railroad Administration. The overall tone of the report isn't particularly negative. It may have had a different tone if it had been written post-Lac Mégantic, knowing what can happen when Bakken crude explodes. Mike Armstrong, Global News, Montreal.